On Tuesday, the UAE pledged $4.5 billion to develop 15 gigawatts of clean power in Africa by 2030. Germany also announced $482 million in financing, including funding for a green hydrogen project in Kenya. The United States committed $30 million to supporting climate resilience and food security efforts. African officials say the investments are welcome, but that a bigger transformation is needed. They plan to push for the expansion of special drawing rights at the International Monetary Fund at the upcoming COP28 climate summit.
The energy supply will evolve towards alternative sources of energy, including solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, biofuels and nuclear, and there are exciting opportunities for innovation in new energy technologies.
We demand a fair playing ground for our countries to access the investment needed to unlock the potential and translate it into opportunities. We further demand a just multilateral development finance architecture to liberate our economies from odious debt and onerous barriers to necessary financial resources.
Hello viewer, and welcome to Bishop David Munyiri Thagana's State of the Nation. This is the channel where we discuss the events that are trending, especially those that concerns our nation, Kenya. This past week has been a great week for this country, with the hosts, Kenya being the host of the climate change conference. We had so many guests from different nations. We cannot help ignoring Kenya and Nairobi especially. And we are grateful to God that we are home of many international organizations, United Nations, many headquarters for many nations. And it is because of the hospitality of our people. The Kenyan people are hospitable. It is because of our beautiful culture, where we have 43 tribes that speak about 120 dialects. There's beauty in that diversity. It is because of our English language, which enables us to communicate with quite a huge population of the world, and now Swahili becoming a major language in the world. Now this, among others, of course, not to forget the wonders of the tourism industry. These are among the things that makes Kenya a very strategic location for anyone who wants to launch any agenda around the world. So we hosted the nations here on one subject, the climate change. And this subject affects us as Kenyans in a great deal. So the fact that Kenya was chosen to host this is among other reasons that we have discussed today. Well, we are also the people who have suffered a lot from this climate change. We once in a while suffer drought, no rains. We also have some of our counties, especially those that borders the northern part with Ethiopia, South Sudan, Somalia, that northern part of the nation, which includes places like Lodwar and such kind of areas. They have been dry almost throughout the year.
In the three hardest hit counties, including Marsabit, conditions border on starvation. This time, the drought is very bad. Droughts used to be separated by many years. In the past, droughts would arrive, more animals would survive than die, and those that lived would recover once it rained and provide us with milk and meat. Now, when drought occurs, it can only last for 3 years, until all the pasture has dried up. When livestock dies, humans die, because our lives depend on animals.
With cows dying and animals dying, and that is what they rely on because they are a pastoralist society. So when there's no rain in the other part of the country, that means now that they suffer double, because most of the food that comes from the rainy seasons of the central Kenya and the rest of the parts is what goes to those nations to feed the people. So we have actually suffered drought for a long time, and agriculture is the backbone of this country. So the fact that we have effects of climate change affecting us negatively, the consequences are so dire to us, so severe that sometimes the cost of living goes so high, just like we have experienced recently and even now. These are among the reasons why having such a conversation going on through the week was not only relevant to the Kenyans, but also very, very critical in terms of the implications of how we deal with issues of climate change. Well, our president, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, has demonstrated in this conference, just like in other conferences or places where he has had the opportunity to represent this nation globally, that we are equal to the task. He has not let us down. His eloquence, his being articulate, his being relevant, his courage to face and confront the West has left all of us very excited and very hope and proud to be Kenyans.
The architecture is set up in a manner that if you borrow, it will be difficult for you to pay. We need a conversation, and a very candid conversation, and we are saying this in all honesty, around how do we get concessional funding.
Nevertheless, the practical things that people have got to do resulting from this conference will determine whether we benefit or we don't. Because food crisis, for example, is something that we have learned that if we go green, that sometimes it doesn't cost us so much, because we have seen people in the cities, we have seen them growing even cabbage outside in their small sacks, plastic bags. I mean, even in the gutters, people are just growing crops anywhere, and they're able to feed their family. So, which requires very little water. We have seen some people are more advanced in hydroponics and drip irrigation. And these are some of the things that practically will benefit us, resulting from this kind of conversations of climate change. I do want to hope that we have learned some lessons that will make us be a bit responsible in the way we do dumping, in the way we throw out. And you know, it begins with simple things like eating my banana as I drive my car and throwing the peel anywhere through the window. And it begins by simply drinking that cup of coffee that is potable on the road and throwing that cup anywhere. It begins by children having a party in the church, and they have biscuits wrapped in those small papers, and as soon as they finish, they throw them away. And it begins with a school where children have water with bottles and throw everything everywhere. So if we could become responsible Kenyans as far as taking care of our environment is concerned, some of the effects and consequences of climate change would not really affect us. But one of the announcements, or one of the exciting things that came out of this, in my view, is the thought or the consideration of removing visa to people going to various countries, coming to Kenya, visa free. And that really excites me, because I am imagining of a world without borders. Without borders in the sense that if I want to go to Sudan, I just go. I want to go to wherever in this continent, I just go. Anybody who wants to come to Kenya just comes. Well, that would be helpful, especially for us, GOA. Our inspiration and great call is to make Christian disciples of all nations. We are 32 years old from the day that we heard the Lord say in 1991, "Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations." And we have been doing that. But it has been difficult sometimes to go through the processes of visa applications to go to different places, the costs involved. Sometimes some nations are not very friendly to the gospel. So removing the visa on one hand for the gospel would be exactly the way God wanted things to be, because God created us as just one, and we were free to go anywhere where the Lord told us to go, and God sees us as one nation. So that would be a welcome announcement. As far as the Great Commission is concerned, we would easily take the gospel to different places. People would come to this country because it is easy to come without all those implications. And when the people come from outside the country, well, there is a likelihood of having development, business people, all the red tapes and bureaucracy would also have to go away for people to invest, the investors here. I am remembering the last few weeks, GOA has had a very disappointing moment, very frustrating, because of the situation at the immigration here in Nairobi. The immigration, you see, GOA receives a lot of volunteers from Switzerland, and for the volunteers to come from Switzerland, they go to that Kenyan citizen portal, and they apply for the electronic visa. When they apply, it solely depends on Nairobi here, the guys here in Nairobi, immigration, to approve. Now, our volunteers, people who are paying their own way, people who are coming to help orphanages, people who are coming to help our schools on a voluntary basis, they don't hear back. They apply for the visa electronically, they don't hear back, they wait. Sometimes they see that they book the flights thinking that it should be an easy thing, just a few days, 2-3 days to get back the visa. But sometimes the day for traveling is here and they have not received the visa. And to make the matters worse, not even a communication saying that their application has been received. In one occasion, the last few weeks, one of the volunteers had to cancel a flight with all the penalties that goes with it. And then our volunteer coordinator from here in GOA had to go to Nyayo House, the immigration, to try and explain all this so that the visa could be released. And then a second one the same way. So those kind of frustrations makes it difficult for our Kenyan people to receive the development that comes with the people outside there. So waiving or removing this kind of regulations of visa for people coming, it would make work easier. It would improve our nation in a great way. People would bring their skills, their talents. Of course, that comes with even financial resources, because for what people spend here, it's left here with us, and consequently, our sharing becomes strong. So that would really help a great deal. But of course, we also need to be prepared when you open your gate for anyone to come in anytime. As much as there are so many advantages, we should expect that there will be some bad guys who will want to make use of that open check to write whatever amount that they have. So you'd expect all the bad guys. People don't love our country because because they are jealous of many things, and because we are said to be friendly to other nations, others don't like us. So we would have to up our game in preparing ourselves for things like terror attacks, because opening our doors by removal of visa for people to come in, some of these bad guys, like those terrorists, would find their way easily. But again, anything that has advantages has disadvantages. We are even likely also to have some drug traffickers who want to just come in. And you know, right now, one of the greatest challenges we are dealing with is the issue of mental health, with the drug addiction and alcoholism. So if we opened our nation like that and people just came in and brought in all types of stuff, then we would have to know how to deal with that. So in other words, of course, the advantages are more than the disadvantages, but we would have to, first of all, sit as a nation and put measures to safeguard our people from infiltration, from those bad influences from outside, so that we can be able to benefit from the benefits that will come with removing those kind of visas. So, well, it has been an exciting week, very, very exciting week. I believe that our economy has moved probably 0.00 something with all the foreign exchange that came with the guest, with all the food and hotel accommodation and transportation. I believe that there are some Kenyans who have been able to feed their families or take care of their families because of that. And probably we would wish that we have another event coming quickly. So God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Keep it right here on Bishop David Munyiri Thagana YouTube channel. See you next week, Friday, same time, same place. God bless you.